Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and JBL marks. This is the Wrestling Man coming at you with the Survivor Series recap. Recapping the pay-per-view that emanated live from Boston, Massachusetts, hometown of that guy they've been showing vignettes of for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. What's his name again? Not important. Anyway, first things first. Obviously, the big storyline today was half brilliant and half twisted. I read on WWE.com this morning, to a major shock, that Jeff Hardy was found unconscious in a stairwell. So, of course, when I'm reading this, I automatically think the worst. Obviously, knowing Jeff Hardy's history, it's possible. It's possible that it could be what we were initially thinking. But yet, what I found twisted about it was that it just seemed as if that Vince McMahon was using, situations where wrestlers have been found dead in their hotel rooms, and such as even Eddie Guerrero, and yet they use it for this storyline. Makes no weird. It makes just doesn't make much sense to me. But the fact of the matter is, if wrestling were not like the way it is, I probably would have found this outright brilliant, because I think it's a good ploy. Vince McMahon, who obviously has no morals, to initiate a few extra pay-per-view buys, because they were selling the fact that, will Jeff compete tonight? But right away, that got me thinking, does that mean that this is a work? And automatically I was thinking, work. As soon as I read that, will he be competing tonight on WWE.com? And lo and behold, I'm hearing these rumors that he's been released from the hospital and has been in contact with the company. So now I'm starting to think, okay, what's going to give here? So anyway, that's the big thing leading into Survivor Series. Obviously, Vince is trying to get a few extra buys here, because the last two pay-per-views haven't done very well at all. The minor exception of Unforgiven, slight 1,000 buy increase. So here we go. Okay, we're going to try to keep this as quick as possible. Survivor Series 2008, the 22nd annual. Nice little video montage to open it up. And of course, like I said, we are live from Boston, Massachusetts. The opening match, and I'm a little surprised, as Shawn Michaels, The Great Khali, Rey Mysterio, and Crime Time versus Just a Big Loser, as partners of Miz and John Morrison, as well as Kane and that guy that loses every week. Okay, right off the bat, I thought MVP was going to get eliminated. He doesn't right away anyway. He actually gets to eliminate JTG, but that means he turns around, Punjabi Death Chop of Doom, Khali pins him, and let's go Khali chants. Never thought I'd hear that in a million years, considering the fact that these same fans were chanting "You can't wrestle" just mere weeks ago. So I don't know. I just find Khali to be a very odd babyface. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Anyway, next up, Mysterio gets Kane again. So that's the third clean pin. Thankfully, Michael Cole didn't call it an upset this time. So it's down to 4-on-3 for the babyfaces. The Miz evens it out with I guess Reality Check the Shot. I guess I should tell you, I'm reading this recap from a website for this match, because I was in a movie theater watching this, and it went out just shortly before the Mysterio elimination on Kane. So the rest of it I'm just reading. So I really can't give the match a final rating, because I didn't really see it. I heard it was good, so I'll take people's words for it who I've been hearing from. Next up, okay, so it's 3-on-3. Miz evens it out. Mysterio eliminates Miz with a splash. Michaels and JBL brawl to the outside. JBL gets counted out as Michaels beats him to the ring, and then leaving Morrison all alone. Morrison eats a super kick, and that's all she wrote. Mysterio, Michaels, and Khali all survive. Why couldn't Crime Time be in there with them again? Crime Time just being treated horribly lately. I don't know why. I don't know, maybe it's because they're getting over. I mean, Vince's logic, folks. It happens. Alright, anyway, next up, Divas elimination match. This was beyond terrible. Everybody's timing was way off. Again, some of these bimbos just cannot wrestle. Okay, let's look at Team SmackDown. We got Divas champion Michelle McCool who I guess is living proof that going down on The Undertaker really pays off in life. Her partner is Natalia, who I love, of course. Maurice, who is hot. That's about all she is. But she seemed motivated tonight, so I won't criticize her too much. Victoria, of course, living proof of what happens when divas get old. And of course, Maria, who I just think they should give up on completely. Team Raw, of course, the Glamazon, Beth Phoenix with Santino Marella. She is, of course, teaming up with Jillian Hall, Candice Michelle, Mickie James, and Kelly. Alright, anyway, this was just bad. I'm not even going to go through the recaps. Basically, Maurice spends most of the match just, getting cheap shots and getting cheap pins. Natalia has a solid pinfall to Candice, which I thought was ridiculous. If Candice really is on her way out like they're rumoring, why are they having Natalia put her over? I guess a heart gets screwed at Survivor Series every year. Okay. Anyway, it comes down to Maurice can't run away anymore. She's down with her and Beth. Beth pulverizes her. That's it. Beth's a sole survivor. Cut. Print. Boring. All right. Speaking of boring, next up, The Undertaker and the Big Show in a casket match. Again, this match just unbelievably atrocious. Probably the worst match these two have ever had, considering the fact that their best one they've ever had was just over a month ago. The only good spots in it, Taker does a leg drop on the table to the Big Show. The way the match ended was kind of neat. Big Show tips over the casket at ringside, so they can't use that one now, and so the Druids bring out another one. I roll my eyes. Big Show stands up in an attempt to knock it over again, but it's opened up from while it's standing up, and I knew this was coming, but it was still cool to see. Taker Irish whip Show into the casket. Of course, it falls over. The lid slams shut. Neat idea, just badly executed. So Taker wins. Hopefully this nauseating feud is over. Next. All right, we got Team Batista versus Team Orton. But before that, we had a little promo. It was really nice. Orton says he didn't choose to be on a team. Blah, 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 blah. Yada, 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 yada. And he says, we got our strengths, and he looks at, like Mark Henry and that, and my weaknesses, and looks at Cody. And Cody's response was, I think, something along the lines of, well, Randy, if you get eliminated, it's just subtraction to addition. Or, sorry, I worded that wrong. I completely fucked that up. Hang on. I don't know. I can't remember it, but I wasn't taking notes tonight, so yeah, it was really good. Cody pretty much mocked Orton. They almost got into it, and the team just, they separated them. Also, I got to mention a couple other promos before we get into that match. Triple H just wrote off Jeff Hardy completely, so you're still has a one-on-one match. When he said that, fans were pissed. They were pissed. And I would be too, quite frankly. And in a way, I find this angle to be, again, 50-50, half smart, half twisted. The fans are getting screwed out of someone they paid to see. And I don't think that's right. Of course, I was in London, Ontario this past year, hoping to see The Undertaker at SmackDown. Many kids were there wearing The Undertaker shirts. He wasn't even there. So, just goes to show Vince McMahon likes to fuck with Canadians. So fuck you, Vince. Anyway, sorry, continuing on. There is, of course, Carlito and Primo Colon hitting on Brie and Nikki Bella. The gobbledygooker shows up. I almost throw up. They think it's Charlie Haas. Actually, that's the first thing that popped in my mind, but then again, I knew right away Charlie's going to come in. There he was. And under the mask was the Boogeyman. Yay. Now he has teeth, which makes Snitsky's smile look like Angelina Jolie. Okay. So also, okay, we get into the match. Sorry, it's 3 in the morning. I'm a little off, but whatever. Anyway, so we get into the next match. It is, of course, Team Orton versus Team Batista. So this one should be interesting. Of course, Team Orton consists of himself.